Hello and welcome to Building Geek Cred, brought to you by the Werewolf and Borg. I'm your host, John DeCook, and this episode we're going to be taking a look at the game Dealing Dungeons. Now this is part of a series that I'm planning and we're going to work on that's going to highlight games by smaller publishers. In this case, this is by Dark Keep Games. Maybe it's one you haven't heard of before, but it's a dungeon building game. So we start on opposite ends of the board. You can have up to 4 players. With 2 players, it's a head-to-head. That's the way we'll show you today. You separate your entrance tile by 8 tiles from each other, but you get 10 tiles to build with. And as you go, we'll be drawing tiles, we'll be lining them up on the board to build our dungeon, which may meander. Every room has an encounter in it. And when you go into the room, you fight. If you fail that encounter, you have to stay there and refight, or you can move backtracking through your dungeon, but you can only move through rooms that you've cleared. If you hit a room with another monster in it, you have to stop and fight again. So the objective is to make your way to the treasure room, have a boss fight, and win the game at that point. So even though you're playing head-to-head, there's not like player versus player interaction, but you are building a dungeon and finding some monsters as you go. So we're going to go ahead and get this set up and show you how to play today. As we play Dealing Dungeons today, I've got my cousin Chris here playing with me today, so I appreciate that. You're going to have different hero cards. There are 7 heroes in the base set: Barbarian, Berserker, Bard, Monk, Rogue, Ranger, Sorcerer. There's different ways you can decide what character each person gets. You can shuffle and deal randomly, or you can roll a die, and then you go in order from highest roll to lowest roll, choosing your character. To set up, every person has an entrance tile to the dungeon, and notice it only has one entrance, and that's going to start in front of us. Now, to set this up properly, we need to have us 8 cards apart from each other to begin with. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So start like that. And then go ahead and move your entrance right up against there, please. All right. So we're each going to get 10 of these cards. It's our own independent dungeon pile. And that's going to be our draw stack. So while I'm shuffling, Chris, do you want to roll a die 6 and we'll see which characters we want to pick. You got a 6, I got a 5. You get to choose first.
Let's try the road.
Okay. Oh, I'm going to go with the Barbarian. He's pretty straightforward. So after you pick your character, you get your token. That's going to mark where you are in the dungeon as you go. So there's your 10 dungeon cards. And additionally, we each have a treasure room card. After we played all 10 of our regular dungeon room cards, we're going to go ahead and attach the treasure room card to our dungeon. Now you get a dashboard card here for measuring your experience, and we cover up all but the level 1. So each character has different abilities. For instance, the Barbarian is +1 to combat. So when I go into combat, I normally roll 2 die 6. I will add 1 to that. So instead of a 6, I would get a 7 on that roll. We're going to be turning over encounter cards in the rooms, and the encounter cards... That's a trapdoor. So here we go. So this encounter card is zombies. The zombies are at combat strength of 6. That's the axe. They're a defend of 3. If you attack, you roll 2 die 6. You're rolling against that attack value. You want to get greater than that to win. Otherwise, you're going to lose one of your life tokens. You start with 3. The most you can ever have is 3. If you choose to defend against that, you roll 1 die 6, and you're trying to get higher than that. On a tie or less, you're going to lose a life. Or sorry, tie, you're going to lose a life if you do that. So the benefit of defending is on your next turn, you may either build to get out of the room without fighting, or you get +2 to combat. If you choose +2 to combat, you may only fight on your next turn. So choose wisely. Every single room is going to have a different encounter in it, and if you fail to defeat the encounter, then the encounter card just stays on top of the room. So if you have to pass back through there, you've got to fight it again. Other than that, once you beat a creature, you're allowed to pick up a loot card. And the loot cards are going to be a variety of different things. Some of them show the skeleton hand on them. If it it shows that, you may place it on this side of your hand, so you can use that item and only that item to help enhance you. Everything else that you pick up and things you choose to not equip in hand go face down on the bag of holding side, which can hold an infinite number of items. Those are going to count towards the end of the game. All in-hand items give you 20 gold at the end. If you have extra healing potions, they give you 10 gold at the end of the game. Everything else is going to be a value of gold as shown on the card. As you defeat monsters, you place them below here in your experience stack and use experience for 2 different things. You may spend 7 at the end of your turn to heal 1 life back up, or you may spend 15 to go up a level, revealing a new capability. So obviously before you go to the boss, you want to have all 3 levels exposed if you can, so you have as much extra ability as possible. I believe that's what we need to know for the startup. So Chris, because you won the toss, we'll let you go first. So you're going to draw a card, build your dungeon. We'll start our entrance. Now when you play these cards down, you're going to have to match a door to a door. It's just as simple as that. You may turn the card oriented any way you want, as long as it doesn't overlap any other card. Now we are kind of bounded by the sides of the table here, so we're going to keep it inside of there. We see Chris has oriented his that way. He's going to move into the room. He's going to draw his first encounter card, and he encounters
the succubus.
The succubus. Well, she's got a combat strength of 7 and a defense of 3, but she has ranged. So if you look carefully here, that shield has a bow and arrow on it. So that means that if you attack her at range, she can deal damage back to you. Normally range is a little bit safer. So the question is, do you want to attack, do you want to defend, or do you want to attempt to run? You can't run from the first room, so you're going to have to either attack or defend. So what do you think?
I'll try and attack.
Right, so 2 dice 6, and what's your special ability on your rogue?
I draw 2 loot cards, but must discard 1.
Okay, so it's just a straight die roll. You need a 7 or better. There's an 8. All right, so you have rolled higher than the combat. You win that combat. The monster is defeated, and so you are going to draw your cards now. And because you're the rogue, draw 2. Decide which one you want. One important thing to note, you may only have 1 hand card up at a time. If you choose to replace that, there's nothing in the rules that says what you do, so what Chris and I decided was you still have that item, you put it face down in your bag, you get the points for it at the end of the game. It doesn't make sense you would lose it. So that's what we're doing. So you've chosen your loot card, going face down in your bag of holding. All right, so that's your first room. So I will take my first room. That's interesting. This only has 1 entrance into it. So what that means is I'm going to have to search for a secret door on my next turn, and we'll talk about that. So I'm going to move into the room. I'm going to draw an encounter card. I'm encountering a ghoul. Ghoul's only a combat value of 5. I'm +1 to combat. We're going to go ahead and attack. I roll a 10 on the dice. +1 is 11. The ghoul is defeated. So the ghoul goes there. I will draw. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Keep it as experience. Good call. Now, the number of experience you get is their combat value. So right now I have 5 experience. Chris has 7 towards those elusive goals. So I'm going to take a loot card. Only 1 loot card. All right, that's going to go in my bag of holding. So back to you. Okay. So now Chris flips his next dungeon over. He's going to have to build one side or the other. So the dungeons will kind of meander a little bit. And notice that it's a dead-end room. So, and there, right? What's your next encounter? Orc. All right. Combat strength of 7.
Oof. Well, I was lucky last time, so let's try it again.
Got a 7. So in this case, you tied. You tie, you are safe. You roll less than the monster's attack value. You defeated, lose a life. If you go higher, then you defeat the monster. You deal a wound to it if it's a boss. So you are perfectly safe right there. Nothing happens to you. And then you have a choice to make on your next turn. So in this case, I don't have a way out of this room. So I'm going to have to spend my entire turn searching for a secret door. When you do that, you simply take one of these tiles. You may attach it to any wall in the room that you're in. I'm going to put it that direction. And then on my next turn, I may exit from there. So that is my entire turn. All right, back to you.
Okay, so now I can choose to fight again.
You may choose to fight again, or you may choose to run from the room, which lets you back into the previous room.
Okay. I will try my luck again and attack. That's a 10.
That's a 10. So the orc is defeated. Nicely done. So you are up to a 14. Not quite what you need to level up, but getting there. And don't forget your loot.
2 loot cards. Okay. That, and I'm going to put that in hand.
Right, so what you picked is a potion of invisibility, which is a special healing potion. It doesn't count as a hand item, but you get to have it up. You can only have one healing potion showing at a time. Any others you draw would go face down in your bag and count at the end. But when you use this, in addition to healing, you get whatever special abilities are listed on that card. So those are great things to have. And when you get into the boss fight, you can no longer spend experience points to heal, only if you have a healing potion out there, so they're good things to hold on to. All right, so for my turn, I'm going to expose my next dungeon room. I'm going to put it this way, so I can continue to move in the dungeon there. Step through. I'm going to encounter an empty room. I am safe. Well, safe, but I don't get anything, so not cool. Back to you.
Okay, so I can move. I can play a card and then move all the way there.
Yes, as you move, well, yeah, so on a move action, you move freely to an empty room that was previously cleared. On your next turn, you may build from there.
Okay, so I can't
Right,
build.
or you can search for a
or I
secret
can
door in
search
that
for a
room,
secret
which then
door.
you'll build on your next turn. Either way.
Either way, I gotta wait till next turn to build. So I'm gonna go ahead and search for secret room.
Makes sense.
And I'm going to put that here.
All right. So my next card, that's kind of a cool looking piece of art. It's got a little portal on it. We'll adjust it there. Move into it. I'm going to encounter a flesh golem. Well, that's really gross looking. It's a combat strength of 8. Again, I'm pretty powerful, so I'm going to go ahead and attack. I roll a 10 on the dice this time. Plus 1 is 11. Defeats the flesh golem. He goes into my experience pile. For my loot this time. Ooh. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put that in hand. It is a Staff of Might. What it says, I have plus 1 range, so I now have ranged attack, and I'm plus 1 to defend. So back to you.
I will build. And I think I'm going to build that way.
Alright.
Move into the room. Counter is an ogre mage. Wow, he's
Combat
a
strength
tough
of
one to
9?
beat.
And he's ranged. Wow.
I think I'll just defend.
Okay. So again, defending is 1 die, and in this case, if you tie or beat it, you successfully defend. If it's less, you fail and lose 1 life. So you have 3 or better. There's a 5. So now remember, you have plus 2 on your combat the next turn. I'm going to go ahead and build. Moving in this time, I will encounter an orc shaman. He's only a combat strength of 6. We're going to attack. Ooh, but I only got 4 on the dice, plus 1 is 5. I lose a life that time. Didn't work out in my favor. All right, back to you.
So I get a plus 2 on this attack.
Correct.
So I'm going to go ahead and go for that attack. I've been pretty lucky so far. Yeah, so 9 straight up.
Yep,
So,
so well, plus 2, right?
Plus
So
2.
11 total. You beat him.
11 total.
All right.
So,
Now, you're at the. Oh, do your loot first. Don't forget to do that. Now, in this case, because you have a 9 and a 7 experience sitting in front of you, you can turn those in. That's 16. You won't get change back, but 16 is higher than 15. It's enough to go up a level. So you are now level 2, and your new power is
plus 1 to range.
All right. So you now have a range attack, as well as getting your extra loot cards. So I'm in that same room. You know what? I've got to make a decision here. I'm going to go ahead and fight this guy. He's got to go down. I don't like him. All right. That time that's better. I get 10 plus 1 is 11. I defeat the Orc Shaman. Draw my loot. All right. So it's kind of a lot of experience to lose. If I add this up, I have 19 there total, but I can only have 14 here. So I'll wait to do the experience thing till next turn. Hopefully I'll beat something that will be a little closer to the experience total that I need. So back to you.
Building. Counter the Gorgon.
Wow.
Dreaded Gorgon.
Only defend on a 6? That's brutal.
Yes, it is. I'm an attack. Oh, very bad.
Unfortunately, no.
So I lose a life.
Now, just as a note in strategy, he could have run to the previous room because he has +1 range now and then shot at her because she doesn't have range defense. He wouldn't have lost a life for missing that combat. So just something to look at for future. All right, I'm going to go ahead and build. Wow, get another lengthwise room there. Move in. I am fighting. Darkness, I miss my next turn. All right, I'll keep that in front of me. So back to you.
Okay. So I guess the run is no penalty, right? She doesn't get an attack
Correct.
on me,
Yep.
so I will go ahead and
Run
run,
back right out of there.
and then I can't attack till my next turn.
Correct.
But since you lose a turn,
I lose a turn, it's right back to you.
then I can go ahead and attack her if I want.
Correct.
So I will do that. +1 to the die roll. Still not enough.
All right, but that's okay. Didn't take any damage.
Your
All right, next card. Wow. Okay, this is going to be a problem because I'm going to run into your dungeon, so I can't put any more that direction. But I'm going to go into there. I'm going to counter this time. The favor of the gods. Roll a die 6 to heal. 1 is heal all my lives. 2 to 4 is plus turn next combat. 5 is gain a level. 6 is receive all of these. So come on, 6. 2. I have +2 during my next combat. I'll keep that here as a reminder. And that's back to you.
Okay. We'll go ahead and try and slay the Gorgon once again.
There
Yes,
you go.
that's
That'll do.
enough. She's down for the count.
All right.
And that's my turn then.
Oh, don't forget to loot.
I get to loot
Yeah.
because I killed it. What is the Gorgon carrying with her? Boy, this is a tough one. Very tough. I hate to throw this away.
Ooh. Worth 100 gold coins?
Yeah.
Wow. What'd
But
you get
the
instead?
Staff of Life is +1 to combat. If attack is successful, you heal 1 life but miss your next turn.
That's a pretty fair trade.
Yeah, it's pretty good to be able to heal a life but losing that 100 gold. Ouch.
Exactly. So what I'm going to do, because I'm out of space to build here, I'm going to go ahead and search for a secret door, and I'll drop it in that wall, and that's my entire turn. So back to you.
Okay. Like, and move. Build. And encounter a horde of bats. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
That's a pretty strong horde of bats.
It is. Combat strength of 7.
Must be large bats.
Giant human.
I'd say 5. And I should have backed out of the room.
Should have.
Well, I do get +1 to combat, but that's still only 6.
6 is not quite enough.
Not quite enough. So ouch, without a life.
All right. I'm going to explore my next room. Goes that way. Step into it. Encounter a hobgoblin. He's a strength of 7. I'm +2 here. I'm +1 there. We're going to go ahead and fight. All right, that's 6 on the dice. Plus another 3 is 9. That's enough to defeat the hobgoblin. So favor of the gods is gone. Hobgoblin is here. We'll draw 1 loot card. I find a potion of life. This will, when I drink, it will heal all of my lives to full. So it goes up, face up on top of there. And I'm going to go ahead and spend exactly 15 experience points. Flesh Golem and the Hobgoblin. I'm going to go up 1 level. Remember, every time you go up a level, you automatically heal 1. And those are gone. Back to you.
Okay. I'm going to play it safe and run away.
All right. Because your Staff of Life should still work from a distance.
It's +1 to combat. So
Right, because it's still, if you do ranged combat.
But then I get +2 because I get +1 to range.
Correct.
But next
All
turn.
right. So I'm running out of room here on the side, so I'm actually going to backtrack here. I'm going to move all the way back to this room and stop there. That'll be my turn.
Okay. I will do a ranged attack on the horde of bats.
There you go.
That's more than enough to take the horde out. That's pretty good.
A lot of experience to lose, though. That's okay. Put you to, remember, you will heal when you go up as well, so there's an added benefit there.
Right, but if my attack succeeds, heal 1
yes,
life,
heal
but
1.
miss your next turn.
Okay.
So I think I will go ahead and heal.
Right, because you know I've got to search for a secret door on the next turn anyways.
And so that's my turn.
All right, so on my turn I am going to, in fact, search for a secret door. We'll go this way this time.
And then I miss a turn.
Yep, and then it's back to me, so I'm going to build. Ooh, that's a good card. Put that one there. Hop in the room. I'm fighting a hag. A hag, I say. Still a combat strength of 3. I am now +2 to combat because my level 2 was also a +1. So fighting the hag, wow, I get 11 on the dice. That's 13. The hag is destroyed. So even though I'm going to lose a little bit of experience here, let me loot it first. Sorry, don't ever forget to loot. Okay, that's okay to me. Into the bag. I'm going to go ahead and spend all these experience points. It's only 17. It's not too much over. And I'm going to go up to level 3. I don't need to heal again. I can never go more than that. Now I'm +1 to combat and +1 to defend, so I am +3 to combat, +2 to defend with my Staff of Might. So back to you.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and build here. And encounter. Dun dun dun.
Wow.
The massive troll.
Wow. 10 combat strength and 6 to defend. That's insane.
Yeah, yes, what I'm running.
Probably the best idea.
Yeah.
All right, my turn. I've only got a couple of cards left here. Yeah, I'll play this one this way. I'm fighting a white. Combat strength of 7. Again, I'm +3 on my combat dice. That's 10 on the dice. 13 enough to defeat the white. White goes in the experience pile. Another loot card from me. All right, into the sack. And back to you.
Okay. You know what? I forgot to loot when I killed the horde of bats, but that's okay.
Go ahead. I don't have a problem with that. Of course, we got the loot card I got, so there is that. Well, that was an easy decision, wasn't it?
Sure was. Okay, so now this time I'm going to attack the troll from range.
All right.
So I have a +1 to combat on the Staff of Life, +1 with the range, so that's +2 the die roll. 6, 7, 8. Not enough.
Not enough. All right, I'm building my 10th room. That's what I've got. Goes like that. Moving into the room. One more encounter before the boss. Cave in. Spend my next 2 turns digging out. I just lost 2 turns. All right, back to you.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and build because I got way too many cards in my hand because I've been fighting all these monsters and not getting anywhere with them.
All right.
So I'm going to go ahead and build. this way. I'm liking that little circle there going on.
It's pretty cool.
And I'll step into there, which is going to bring an encounter of a mummy who looks a little bit easier to defeat.
Just a little bit the natural.
I'm going to fight him right here. +1 to combat. Yes.
All right.
Take him out. Mummy is defeated. Let's do my loot before I forget again. Yeah. I can only have one thing in hand. Right?
Correct, but if you switch to Staff of Life, remember it'll go into your bag and be worth 20 gold at the end.
Yep.
That's going to be... Okay. The Sword of Slaying, is that what it says?
+2 to combat.
Oh, nice. Okay, I get why you kept that one. That makes a whole lot of sense to me.
And then I will go ahead and throw these to get
Oh, another +2 to combat.
+2 to combat.
Nice. All right, very well done. All right, that's one turn digging out. Back to you.
I'm going to build again. Put that here.
Let's put him right in the middle of the room.
So that blocks that
Blocked.
off.
Well done.
And move into the room and draw an encounter. A giant spider. Ooh.
Now remember, you're what, +4 to combat now? +3 to combat? What's your sword was +2?
+2, then +2 there. So
Wow.
that's +4 to combat.
That's enough.
That's enough.
Giant spider goes down.
Giant spider is down.
Now, since you're on your last card, your last 2 cards. Oh, you still have 2 to go?
Yeah.
My goodness.
I think you slipped me an extra one, man, honestly.
Well, that's what you get for making me deal.
Now we can only have one potion,
Correct. Only one healing potion up at a time.
but this is
That's a special healing
that's a
potion.
special one. So I can trade in this one to get the potion token, right?
Let me double check. I believe that is the case. So,
Is it because it says exchange for a healing potion token?
yes, and that'll give you a healing potion token. Yep, that's exactly what you do.
So
Yep, that's it. So you can only have one healing potion token at a time that goes on your dashboard. You can use that in the final boss fight.
Yep. So I hate to throw away the money, but I am going to take that.
And remember, you can spend 7 experience points to heal 1 life back.
That's right.
And you got 2 of them sitting there, so
Okay. Yeah. Let's throw that away and get that last
might
life.
as well. All right, I spend my second turn digging out of the cave in, and now I'm dug out. So back to you.
Okay, so I'm going to. I'm not supposed to be looking at those.
You're running out of room.
Yes, I know.
I think you can fit 1 more in here. These are a little off.
Yeah, and if I have to, I can go to another room and search. But
Right, but then that wastes your whole turn.
I'm going to build.
All right, so this is going to be blocked
That's
off.
kind of a cool room.
That is a cool room.
And we've got the werewolf. Where's the board?
Exactly.
He's a 7.
It's actually a pretty cool looking werewolf too.
I'm going to
dig it.
go for. I have my +4 with my sword of slaying. +4 the die roll. Oh,
Wow.
crushes!
Wow.
Crushes the
Boy.
werewolf.
Nothing left of that dude.
So let's pull these out and out. That in my bag of holding.
All right. So now that you get to go again, I build my treasure room. It fits perfectly there. I move in. The door slams shut behind me, so I cannot run anymore. And I have to draw a boss monster card. So would you mind handing me the top one off the deck there? So boss monster cards are different than other monster cards. So as you can see, it has a number of health here. That's 2. And it has a value down there. Now additionally, this is the centaur. It says trampled. If I lose a life, roll 2d6. On a roll up to 12, I lose another life. So this is the boss that I'm going to fight there. boss fights work a little bit differently than the previous fights do. So in this case, your opponent is going to roll 3 die 6. So that becomes the attack dice, and that becomes the number you have to hit. So if you don't mind, roll 3. It's going to change every round. So in this case, wow, a 12. A 12.
Ouch.
Okay. So I can either fight or defend. The monster's defense is a 6, but it's 2 die 6 to fight or 2 die 6 to defend. After defeating the end boss, you draw 3 loot cards. If you tie, you're safe and do not lose a life. The attack dice are rerolled every round. Well, because 12 is so high, and I'm only +3 to combat, but I'm +2 to defend, I'm going to try to defend against that 6. So I succeed. 7 + 2 is 9. That's better than the 6. I will have +2 to my attack and the next combat. So back to you.
I will build my last room.
All right.
Encounter. Oh my gosh, the cankerous orb.
Wow. 10 attack. That's
yeah.
pretty brutal.
Oh boy. Do I want to run? Or do I want to stay?
You're +4 to combat now, don't forget.
I know. I'm going to attempt to attack him since I'm full health. 7 plus my 4.
That's enough.
11, and
Canker's
that's
Orb is
enough.
defeated.
Canker's Orb is
Nicely
defeated.
done.
And,
Don't forget to loot.
yeah. 2 loot cards. And choose which one to keep.
See, why'd you throw in the 10 gold coins? All right, back to me. My combat. So 3 die 6, please. Are you kidding me?
Nope.
Wow. 13 this time. Okay, well, I'm +2 from my successful defense last time, and I'm plus another 3 here. So I'm going to go ahead and try it. So I need to beat 13. So I'm +5. I need an 8 or better on the dice. And I fail. So I get trampled. I'm going to lose a life. And I'm going to roll this. I did not get a 12, so I do not get trampled and lose another life. Back to you.
Okay. I get to place my treasure room.
Correct, but you cannot place it where you are.
Nope.
You're going to have to back up to place it. All right.
Do I get to move in there?
No, because I think you had to back up, so you actually have to wait till the next turn to build it. All right. So I'm going to go and attack again. Give me the 3 dice, please. That's a little better. 10.
And you can do 10.
Yeah. Well, my +3. Let's go ahead and see what I got. There's an 8. +3 is 11. That beats a 10. So we'll do this. We'll put 2 tokens on there. The centaur has 2 life. Take 1 life token off. So I still have another round of combat to go. Back to you. So you build. Move in.
Move in.
Door
Door
slam
slam
shut.
shut. And the boss monster is the Orc Chieftain.
Sounds like fun.
Entangle. End of turn. Roll 1 die 6. Result of 2. Lose 1 life or miss next turn.
On a result of 2? That's interesting.
End of turn. Roll 1 die 6 on a result of 2. Yeah.
Okay. 2 health, 6 to defend. Alright, well, let's see what his combat strength is.
2 health.
Combat strength of 12. Happy to return the favor.
12. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I have +4 to combat. I'm gonna take a try.
Alright.
That is 8.
So you're exactly
That's
12.
Exactly 12.
You tie, you're safe, nothing happens. But you gotta roll for that entangle. No.
Good.
Alright, my turn. Go ahead and roll that combat strength for the centaur, please. Alright, I'm going to try to defend. Because I'm +2 to defend. I successfully defend. I'll be +2 on my next combat. Back to you.
Combat again.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got to roll this attack first. Sorry. Oh, that's nice. It's only a 10, so you got him. 1 life knocked
Got
out.
him. 1 life.
All right, back to me. Roll that combat strength, please. I've got to attack because I defended last time. Only a 10, plus 5 total. That'll do it. The centaur gets defeated. I draw 3 loot cards, and the game ends there. We tally up our loot and see who is the victor and who is dead. All right, let's add them up.
Okay. So does my invisibility count as a loot card since I never used it?
It does not say that specifically, but it only makes sense to me because it's face up on your bag of holding. So it makes sense if loot, but the in-hand item, no.
Okay.
All right, so remember, potions, when you total up, are worth 20 unused healing potions. And, I'm sorry, in-hand loot cards count as 20, and then unused healing potion cards count as 10. All right. So, again, it's not real clear. Do we want to count this as another 20? It makes sense to me. It's a treasure you have, right?
It doesn't say whether in-hand counts or not?
It says, well, it does say all in-hand, but it says add up the loot cards in your bag of holding. So that one's not in your bag of holding, so I guess it wouldn't count.
Okay.
All right.
So that's 100. You said these are worth 20?
Yes, it should be an in-hand item. It's worth 20.
20. Makes 60. Potion card is
10.
10. That's 70. And unused potion.
Unused potion token doesn't count because it's not in your loot bag.
Okay.
All right. So, what's your total?
This is 100, 40, 60, 70.
Okay. So I've got, that's 30, 50, 70, 80, 90. That's 110. That's 210. That's 235.
Wow.
But it's because I got 1 bag of gemstones worth 100. That made all the difference.
See, and I threw away that 100, which if I would have kept it, I would have won.
Yep. So there you go. That is Dealing Dungeons by Dark Keep Games. It's a quick and easy little playthrough. Even explaining and going, it took us about 30 minutes to get through the entire thing. So check it out. I really like the art. It's very evocative. Very kind of a cool style to it. And there are lots and lots of varieties in the dungeon rooms, which I really enjoy. So for instance, there's a ring of candles here. There's a ring of candles here with a skeleton inside of it. So obviously something way worse happened in this room than happened in that room. But it's just a pretty lightweight, very easy. The dice actually are very high quality. I like the little skull hand on them as well. So check out Dealing Dungeons. For Building Geek Cred, this is John DeCook signing off. Thanks for joining us this time.